If your favorite NFL team needs speed at the wide receiver or running back position, this is the show for you. On today's episode, I'm going to tell you why Jaylin Noel, Brashard Smith, and Shamir DK bringing the explosiveness you just can't teach to the playmaking positions. This and more coming up next.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm a draft analyst over with Bleacher Report, and thank you as always for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our every day as we have an explosive, fun episode. We're talking about those explosive and speedy options in the 2025 NFL Draft. Jaylin Noel, is he the next lad McConkey? Brashard Smith, the best satellite explosive running back in the class? And Shamir DK, day 3 burner that you need to know about. But before we can get into that, today's episode is brought to you by the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada. Stay tuned for the Armada Player of the Week later in the show. Guys, Jaylin Noel, 5'10", 194 pounds, 29.5-inch arms, 8 3/4 on the hand at the combine, 4'39", 41.5-inch vert, 11.2 broad, 23 reps on the bench press. He is explosiveness personified. And when I look at what he's going to bring to an NFL offense, if you missed out on Lad McConkey last year, don't worry. We have one this year. Jaylin Noel reminds me a lot of Lad McConkey, a guy that is quick-footed. He creates ample separation as a route runner. He knows how to attack leverage. He knows how to push you vertical, break off. His routes, at the top of his routes, he has the sharp plants and cuts to generate that separation. You're talking about the short to intermediate parts of the field against the defense. The difference between the two for me is I believe Noel can play a little bit more outside vertically as a route runner than Lad. Lad, even though I believe both of these guys tested at 4.39, 4.38, 4.39, sub 4.4 in the 40-yard dash at their respective combine performances, still yet when I watch the play speed, I see more juice, more explosiveness, more get off, more burst and acceleration off the line from a guy like Jaylin Noel. Jaylin Noel, there's reps of him running deep post routes, slot fades, go routes, and he's winning foot races down the field, vertically, attacking the vertical plane. That's not where Lad McConkey typically lives, right? Like Lad McConkey is going to be more that slot movement receiver, yards after catch. You see the explosiveness, you see the burst and everything after the catch with Lad. But for me, I see more of it before the catch with Jaylin Noel. My initial comp when I watched him was Christian Kirk. And I think he's going to fall somewhere between Christian Kirk, who I believe was a 4.4 athlete coming out, a good athlete himself, coming out of Texas A&M, if I remember correctly, out of college. But at the same time, he's going to fall between Lad McConkey and Christian Kirk for me. And I just love the ability that he brings. There is upside as a run after catch guy. I believe he has kick and punt return, or I think punt return experience and everything like that. So I think for him, this is a guy that you think about facing man coverage, mesh concept, clear man beater. You get him on that shallow cross out of the slot and you just easy pitch and catch. And now you give him a manufactured runway after the catch to where he can go ahead and change gears. I believe he's a guy that runs routes similar to Lad, where it's you have multiple speeds and they change it up based on the coverage, based on the guy they're facing. In the NBA, the new thing, it was years ago, it was who can hit the Euro step. Now it's the decel step. And I love seeing that in the NBA because it correlates to the NFL and to playing wide receiver. Being able to decelerate at the top of your routes. If you're running a 15-yard in cut, you need to explode off the ball with speed, burst, and acceleration, push, and make that corner think, hey, he's coming vertical. He's going to attack me vertical. He's going to win the foot race vertical. You force them to open the gate, open their hips, and turn their back to you, preparing to run with you, especially if it's off coverage, just to be able to decel, but not stop completely, decel, slow yourself down, and turn sharply at a good speed. Jaylen Noel brings that. So you think about teams like that missed out on Jaylen Noel last year. You think about those, truthfully, the Carolina Panthers. That was a team that was heavily linked to him. And people said, man, this was a great fit for Bryce. 100%. I never felt like Xavier Legette was a great fit for what Bryce Young does. Bryce Young is not a push the ball down the field guy. He is not a vertical outside the numbers thrower. He's I feed the slot. Go back to Alabama when it was Jamison Williams and John Mechie. Those guys didn't kill a whole ton outside. They did a lot of work between the hashes and working crossing routes, things of that nature. That's where Bryce Young lived. So I never felt like Xavier Legette was a great fit, and they should have taken Ladd McConkey. That being said, you have Xavier Legette, you have Jalen Coker, you have Adam Thielen. Why not add Jaylin Noel now, right? And then you have your Z slot. You got three guys that can play all three wide receivers. Well, I think Coker's predominantly a slot, but he could play the Z and everything like that. You want to bunch him, stack sets, give him free releases, things like that, and let him win in the short to intermediate. But Xavier Legette I think he can develop into your X. Dave Canales kind of talked about that. He believes in Xavier Legette. That's why they weren't heavily pursuing DK Metcalf. So nonetheless, I look at Jaylen Noel like, yeah, if you're the Carolina Panthers, go get that guy and feel great about that because he's going to be able to add something you don't have, and that is a great route runner with explosive speed. Now, he does have some focus, concentration drops on tape. Got to clean that up a little bit. Got to clean a little bit of that up. But I watched him at the Senior Bowl, guys. Jaylen Noel adjusting to off-target throws, back shoulder fades, things of that nature. And I'm like, okay. And then watching him one-on-ones, and once he got even and was able to get over the top and get that step on the corner, guys they struggled to play in phase because they were quickly put out of phase. This is a guy, Ladd McConkey 2.0, 100%. He's going to give you the route running. He's going to give you the space creation, the separation. Also, he gives you speed and explosiveness. And I think that slot fade, Luther Burden runs a very good slot fade. I believe Jaylen Noel runs a much better slot fade with more explosiveness and juice off the ball. So when you ask me, DP, what's a explosive playmaker that I can get on day 2 of the 2025 NFL draft? It's simple. Iowa State wide receiver Jaylen Noel, again, 5'10", 194 with 4.3 speed, 4.39 speed that can jump out the gym 41.5-inch vert. If that isn't enough to sell you on getting that guy in your offense that you can move the chains with, bring verticality to your offense, play the X, play the Z, get some manufactured touches with his speed to get some yards after the catch, I don't know. I felt like I did a good enough job to sell you. Maybe you just don't want to hear it. But now I'm telling you guys, get Jaylen Noel. If your team drafts him, DP said, stamp certified, Dames dude. But coming up next, Brashard Smith, the best satellite running back, explosive running back with pass catching ability in the 2025 NFL draft. Yes, he is. And I'm going to tell you why coming up next. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your pair controller, subscribe, or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included. And you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports, College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and more. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV locked on to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices including Fire Stick TV 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. SMU's Brashard Smith is the best satellite back in the 2025 NFL draft class. Guys, as an undersized running back who he transferred from Miami, he switched from wide receiver to running back, right? Think about what the Giants have. They're starting running back right now, Tyrone Tracy, also was a guy that switched from wide receiver to running back, and he did it well. Brashard Smith at the combine, 4.39. Is a guys with long speed. He's 5'10", 194 pounds. He's got that jitterbug type of game to him. He's explosive. He's got dynamicism to his game. But he, to me, is the best satellite back. And you talking about satellite backs, what does that mean, DP? It's those guys that play in space, right? Just like a satellite floats around in space. That's what he does. He floats around and makes plays. He connects the offense in space. And that's what I love about SMU running back Brashard Smith. Yes, he's undersized. Yes, he's not the biggest and strongest guy. He's not going to be your RB1 bell cow. No, he's not going to be those things for you. What is he going to be? Brashard Smith is going to be your change of pace back. He's going to be the guy that comes in when you have a hammer. He comes in, he brings the electricity. When you have that thunder, he's going to bring the lightning. He's going to bring that speed that defenses don't want to have to deal with, because it's a whole different pace change when you go from hitting Derrick Henry, trying to bring down Derrick Henry 25, 30 plays straight. And then you get 4.39 speed. And it's like, okay, yeah, your mind is not adjusted to the change of speeds, pace, and tempo. And this is a guy that cuts that receiver background, and the fact he played receiver at the college level. This is a guy that you can split out wide, split out into the slot, motion out late. So let me tell you something. Brashard Smith would have been the ideal running back for a Tom Brady-led offense. You think about the James Whites, the Dion Lewises, right? Those guys. And he reminds me a lot of Dion Lewis, honestly. He's not the same kind of bulky, kind of bowling ball build up top. Dion was a little bit more muscle mass and strength up top, in his frame, but still yet the route running out of the backfield, different things of that nature make you miss an open field. Brashard Smith is adept at knowing how to set guys up. He has the wickle, he has the movement skills, he has exactly what he needs to make guys miss one-on-one in space as a satellite running back. And I just look at him and I say to myself, yeah, man, like I talked about it in the first segment with Jaylin Noel. He'll be a great fit behind Chuba Hubbard in Carolina, right? But also going back to New England. Hey, Mike Vrabel, you want to go back to your roots? You were on some of those teams with those different running backs, those pass catching, jitterbug, shifty, explosive running backs that can make guys miss, run good routes out of the backfield, catch the ball, right? James White, if it wasn't the fact that Tom Brady is Tom Brady, James White had a very strong case for being the Super Bowl MVP when they came back from being down 28-3 to the Atlanta Falcons. Sorry, Falcons fans, not trying to trigger you, but nonetheless, that is what it is, right? So for me, when I look at what Brashard Smith is going to bring, yes, you have, and it's crazy because I love Travion Henderson. He's not the receiver out of the backfield that Brashard Smith is. He's not going to give you the same route running. He's not going to give you the same movement skills, right? Because again, for me, I'm as an offensive-minded guy that I am, I'm thinking about it from this aspect. It's 3rd and 10, and I'm facing man coverage. Who am I splitting out and motioning out and going empty with? Brashard Smith or Travion Henderson? It's going to be Brashard Smith, a guy that catches the ball away from his frame. I watched him down in Mobile. You're talking about one of the biggest mismatches I've ever seen in my life. Those linebackers had all like the trouble in the world trying to contain him and stop him from breaking. They're trying to chuck him and jam him and push him. They're trying to get hands on to slow him down a little bit. All those things because they knew they couldn't hang with him because of his movement skills laterally, because of his foot quickness, because of his explosiveness, especially once he breaks. And think about those choice routes, man. Those choice routes out of the backfield where you're dealing with man coverage, and he checks, he goes, splits through the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? And he reads the leverage. Where's the weight distribution of that linebacker? And then he breaks off of it. And once he breaks, he gets 2 steps. And now the good quarterback, hey, Toss that thing out there. I'm gonna throw this out here real quick. I'm gonna throw this out because it just kind of dawned on me. Boom. You know what I mean? Just light bulb moment, right? And I'm pulling it up just to make sure I'm not off kilter here. But yes, could he be this year's Bucky Irving? Could Brashard Smith be this year's Bucky Irving? Now, again, 5'10", 194, 4.39 speed is what Brashard Smith brought to the table. Bucky Irving at the combine last year, 5'9", 192. He ran a 4.55. Now their 10-yard splits are actually kind of. He had a faster 10-yard split. He's more. His burst is a little bit better. Brashard ran a 1.58 10-yard split, but even their vertical jumps, Brashard 32.5, Bucky Irving 29.5, Brashard broad jump 9.9, Bucky Irving 9.7. So when you think about what he can do. Yes, and where was Bucky Irving selected? Bucky Irving was selected 4th round. He was in the middle of the 4th round, and he was clearly the best back on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We knew he could catch the ball. People thought he was going to be just a pure change of pace guy. No, he had a good season as the guy for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I'm going to look at the stats really quickly. Yes, 207 carries, 1,122 yards rushing, 5.4 yards per attempt, 8 rushing touchdowns. He had 47 receptions for 392. Yes, Bucky Irving was 10th in the league in rush yards. He was 15th in rushing touchdowns at 5'9", 5'10", whatever. Like their body types are similar. Right now, Bucky Irving's contact balance is outstanding, but just as a paint the picture, walk with me here. That's what I see with Brashard Smith. If he can get a little stronger, might just bulk up a little bit, like add a couple more pounds, get a little bit stronger in the lower body, the way he can deal with the contact and everything, like Bucky Irving, and just be able to stay upright, keep that balance. Oh, baby, with that speed, 4.39, yeah, I saw Bucky Irving rip off some big ones. Some good runs. Yeah, Brashard Smith has home run hitting ability. So for me, in the 2025 loaded running back class, SMU's Brashard Smith is the best satellite running back that you need to know. And if your team drafts him, just know you should be happy about it. But coming up next, we're going to talk about a day 3 burner at the wide receiver position, Florida, Shamir DK, and what he's going to bring to your team. That and more coming up next. The Armada Player of the Week is brought to you by our friends at Nissan and the all-new 2025 Nissan Armada. Each week, we're taking a look at our draft prospects to pick one guy that stands apart, the guy we believe showcased the strength and power needed to push your team forward as we look ahead to next season. And this week's Armada and clear-cut Player of the Week is Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. Ashton Jeanty has a vision. He has the patience. He has the build to be a bell cow running back at the next level. And similar to the Armada, right, he conquers every road that's put in front of him. He's heavy duty as a runner and rugged with contact balance. When it comes to the Nissan Armada, they say go forth and conquer. And that's exactly what I think Ashton Jeanty can do here. It's clear that our Player of the Week is out here and ready to conquer the road ahead with confidence, just like you can in the all-new Nissan Armada or any of their outstanding vehicles. Take the Nissan Armada, Rogue, or Pathfinder and go find your next big adventure. Shop NissanUSA.com. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. A day 3 burner that you need to know just in case your team drafts him. Shamir DK, former Wisconsin Badger, transferred to be a former Florida Gator. This guy is listed at 6'1", 196 pounds, 32 and 1/8 on the arm. He ran a 4.34 at the combine, 1.51 10-yard split. He jumped with explosiveness, 38.5-inch vertical, a 10.8 in the broad. And this is a guy, when I look at middle round, that 4 to 5 round range, right? 4th or 5th round, I think you're going to get yourself a big time speed threat. A guy that you see his ability to, out of his breaks, he keeps his speed. This is a legit burner. He can gear up and change gears really, really easy, right? He has easy gas. And once he reaches top speed, talking about winning foot races and everything of that nature. And this is a guy that he's played the X, he's played the Z, he plays the slot. You can motion him, do different things of that nature. And I like what he brings to the table. And just kind of watching his film, I appreciated what I saw from Shamir DK. And I think with him, this is a guy you bring in as like your wide receiver 4, right? With his athleticism. I love those play action. Those play action, teams that run the ball. You have a big arm quarterback. You want to push the ball down the field. Chimere Dike can be a really good fit for you, right? He can be a really good fit. He has the acceleration to stun guys off the ball if you're not careful. He's a tough guy to get back in phase with because of that long speed and everything like that. And then again, the leaping ability, the raw natural leaping ability, explosiveness, and speed that he brings to the table. Yeah, you could run slot fades with him, skinny post out of the slot. You could play him at the Z spot, run, take off, and go routes. I think if he can develop dilating his speeds a little bit, like in terms of lulling guys to sleep, that way, when you run like a out and up and everything, you need to be able to run the out with good speed, right? Sell it, slow it down after the break to where that guy thinks, okay, he's preparing to stop for a pass on the sideline, or as you're working towards the sideline, just to have that. Then you already have the explosiveness and acceleration to quickly flip your hips, turn, and get upfield. Like if he can start adding more decel, more dilation, and dilating his speed, and getting more variety and using more variety with his speed, yeah, like this guy can really give you some headaches, man. And you think about the Ted Gins of the world, just those explosive playmakers, man, the MVSs, things like that. I think he has more upside as a route runner than those guys. And I think if you get there, and he has the size, the frame, the leaping ability to then go and make plays at the catch point, I think this guy can eventually be a starter, like a solid starter in the league. But I think about the Baltimore Ravens as a team, the Baltimore Ravens, the Buffalo Bills, right? The Miami Dolphins. No, Tua arm talent is nowhere near Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. Don't get me wrong here. But adding a Shamir DK to that offense, where you already have Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle and things of that nature, and how Mike McDaniel uses receivers and calls pre-snap motions and things of that nature, brings just a more of a speed element to this offense. And I think he has the strength. I think he has the body type to be a guy that can win against man coverage and play with some physicality. I like what Shamir DK out of Florida brings to the table. Again, 6'1", 196 at the combine. That's what he weighed at the combine, with 32 1/8 on the arm. Hands are above 9 inches as well. And again, 4.34. For reference, I believe 4.34 is what Malik Neighbors ran at his combine. I think DK Metcalf ran a 4.33. I believe Brian Thomas Jr. ran a 4.33. Like, yes, like he has really good speed, just raw, natural speed and top end speed. The Jacksonville Jaguars adding another playmaker to pair with Brian Thomas. And you think about that speed that he would bring. Man, guys, I'm telling you now, it is like, this is a guy that you go check the tape, go watch him. He gets off the ball in a hurry. He's got the speed, the foot quickness, things of that nature. He has the tools. I think this is a guy that we could use as a coach him up segment, and we might do before the draft. Before the draft comes, we'll see. But I think Shamir DK 100% is a fourth, fifth round guy, like that day 3 guy early in day 3. That, there's a little bit of a run on day 2 with wide receivers. You get some of the guys that can probably come in as bona fide wide receiver 2s and 3s. And you're like, okay, now we got the guys that, okay, we can develop, we can work with, I'm all for it. Let's do it. And then you really walk away from it like, okay, we have a nice depth piece to our offense. And you're like, okay, this will work. This will play. The Las Vegas Raiders, you got Geno Smith, who throws outstanding deep ball. They need wide receiver help. They need some more speed, explosiveness, size, everything to pair with the all-world talent that is Brock Bowers at the tight end position, right? You got Jacoby Myers only on a 1 year deal. I'm just saying, guys, I think the Las Vegas Raiders, if they're not able to snatch up one of those immediate impact guys on day 2, if they wanted to go in a different direction, maybe add a running back, if they don't go Ashton Jeanty, they still got to need that corner. Maybe they go Will Johnson. I'm personally would take Will Johnson over Jeanty because you need that, and he's one of the best, if not the best corner in this class. I'd rather take him and then go and get another running back on day 2, whether that's a Quinshon Judkins, a Caleb Johnson, so forth and so on. And then the 4th round, snag Shamir DK, and then you say, you know what? We're cooking with gas, baby. It's springtime, baby. It's getting ready to be what springtime, especially in the South, means cookout time. It means grilling up, throwing the brats and the burgers on the grill. It's time to cook with some gas. And teams in the NFL should draft with more urgency to cook with gas. Stop using all the cold stuff. Turn that thing up so we can really get cooking and get people the food that they're waiting on, right? Let's get the wins. Let's get the plays. Let's get the playmaking ability that your team's fan base needs. So I'm saying, man, let's cook with gas. That's the slogan. When we draft, we cook with gas. But guys, that's our show. We talked about the day 3 burner, Chimere Dike out of Florida. Talk about Brashard Smith being the best satellite space running back in the 2025 NFL draft, and Jaylin Noel, wide receiver from Iowa State, a more explosive lad McConkey. Thank you so much for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers, and go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Guys, I am Damian Parson, and on tomorrow's show, we will get into some of the rumors. Miami Dolphins maybe trading Tyreek Hill, and is there a wide receiver from Texas that should be a good fit to replace him? I think so. So come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.